Warning, this video contains flashing images. Creepy Snapchat glitch or ghost? Don't even know how to start this. Biggest mystery of my life. A random night about 3 years ago, I was going to sleep as usual. I was feeling fine and everything was good. Now normally when I go to sleep I put my phone on charge and leave it on the table beside me. And I've been doing this for years. I woke up the next morning way later than usual, so I must have overslept. I go to grab my phone but it wasn't there, but it was underneath me and it was dead. I find it strange, but I must have slept on it. I have zero memory of that happening that night, which is why I'm so confused. Anyway, I plugged it in, and when it came on, I opened Snapchat. My heart sunk. I had messages from some people I don't really talk to, and a shit ton of messages from my friends. I instantly knew something was up, that I posted a story or something. So before even reading any messages, I checked my story on Snapchat and Instagram. Nothing was there. I opened my friend's messages, and he told me I have a story up. I went to check again in case I missed somehow, yet there was still nothing there. I thought I was being pranked. He then screen recorded and screenshot my story. There was a effing story there for him. The story was such a stupid meme picture, and it was not there for me. Now here's where I get creeped out. My sisters didn't message me. They would be the first to tell me if I had a story up. I texted them and asked, "Can you see my story?" And they said they couldn't. I then started asking random people. Some of my friends couldn't see it. Some people could, and I couldn't. It's like random people were able to. Some weren't able to view my story, and I couldn't. I asked someone to reply to my story in hopes that I can access it. But when they did, it didn't give me an option to remove it. I started stressing because it's such a random photo to have on my story. For someone who never posts anywhere, and I was creeped out. When I viewed my story, my friend replied to it and said I posted the story whatever hours ago. Can't remember at the time, and remember that being 5 AM. I was fast asleep at 5 AM. Now the photo, I'm 99% sure that photo wasn't in my camera roll, but my friend said maybe it was. But it was my old phone, so I can't check. I started thinking I was hacked. But then, why couldn't I see my story? Why did I not put my phone on charge and on the table that night? Why can't I remember falling asleep that night? Why can random people see my story and random people can't? Why can't I remove my story? I tried to use logic to get an answer, like okay, maybe I was so tired I don't remember falling asleep. And my phone was in my hand and I posted a random photo from my camera roll. But one, why couldn't I see my story and random people could? And two, I don't think the photo was on my camera roll. And three, it was posted at 5 AM. And I went to sleep way earlier than that. Genuinely such a mystery to me. And I felt like I was possessed or some bullshit. I have a screenshot and my friend's screen recording as proof. Anyone have any answers? Appreciate for reading. Hey everyone, if you like what I'm doing, why not subscribe to my channel? It costs nothing and it would help me out a great deal. Like, comment and subscribe, my friends. Like, comment and subscribe. Let's continue with the rest of the video. My last trip in 2019. I have a friend that I used to take with me on trips most of the time. A few years ago, I stopped travelling after something really creepy happened to us. We were in Urzante, Morocco. Night came and we were in the middle of nowhere on the road. We decided to set up our tent beside a river. It was around 8 PM. After we settled everything, the tent, the fire, everything, I went to the river to wash a t-shirt, a mug and some other old stuff. Suddenly, a huge rock was thrown from nowhere. It landed so close to my head that if it hit me, I would have died for sure. I freaked out and went to my friend, yelling at him, asking why the hell he threw that rock so close to me. He started swearing that it wasn't him. Then I told him that someone else must have done it. He got even more scared than me. I was so tired that I didn't want to change places. I just wanted to eat and sleep that night. I told him I was joking because he looked terrified. We quickly cooked some rice, closed the tent and tried to sleep. Around 4 AM I heard footsteps. I didn't want to wake my friend because he probably would have started screaming. I waited for about 5 minutes. Then the tent zipper slowly started opening. Someone opened it just a little from the top right hand side of the tent and said, "You don't have the right to sleep in this place. Please leave." Then he walked away. I stayed frozen in shock for almost 20 minutes. Then I woke my friend up and told him,
"We need to leave right now. Don't ask me anything, I'll explain later."
We packed our stuff and left that place. And that was my last trip. My neighbour lied about everything. I don't even know his name. My neighbours Simon and Brad, not their real names, lived together in a 3-bedroom house. However, Brad left as he was trying to come off drugs, leaving Simon alone in that house. I hadn't met him. One night, around a bit past midnight, I can't remember the day, but I remember it being winter and being freezing. Sometime late 2025, when I hear some screaming for dear life. "Help! Help me! Please call 999. I noticed a man, so I looked out my window and saw who I would later come to know as Simon, hanging out his bedroom window screaming. I woke my dad and he was luckily asleep on the couch after dozing off during a movie. I told him what happened and he went outside. I stood by the door. My other neighbours got involved to check on him and to call the police, and his behaviour was escalating. He started threatening the businesses we lived above, pounding on their windows, threatening that he would stab their drivers. This started a 2-month-long harassment, harassing my family at all hours of the night to come into his home, which we later found out to be mould infested. But the worst part was how inappropriate he claimed to have been, burned with lasers on his junk. However, no matter what we did, and after his escalation to threats and violence, it didn't stop. The police did nothing. Every night at 10 PM onwards, he was outside screaming, saying the men with lasers were going to get him. He never opened the door for the police. No one could stay open past 10 PM, as it would set him off. No lights at home either, as he would start pounding on the door. With all this happening, we were concerned as his supposed job was a mental health nurse. If his behaviour was like this, what was happening at work? We later found out he was a heavy cocaine user, as Brad was involved in drugs, but not like Simon. He was involved with shady people, and they tried to break into the home of a single mother who apparently had it out for Simon. This was the police needed to get him out. It was only after seeing him run across a dual carriageway did we find out more of the truth, but less of the man. The neighbours right next door to him reported Simon to the police months prior to him threatening to stab them through the wall, as our homes are all attached. However, the police tried to insinuate that the couple was racist. The reason this was mentioned is both the couple and Simon are black, so to suggest this was weird. His name was also not Simon, the name I gave in the story, but we never knew his real name. He's lied to everyone. We knew him by his nickname, which he insisted was a short version of his name, and he was never a nurse but actually a social worker with a wife and a child back home in Africa who were supposed to live with him over here, but he abandoned them. He now lives in a home for adults with mental health issues. Apparently, however, he's kind of allowed to do whatever he wants around town. His behaviour is still erratic, but the home is next to a school and I can't help but fear for those kids' safety. TLDR. Neighbour is unstable, lied about everything and threatened to kill us all. This story was based in the United Kingdom. Look, look, look. More scary videos.